Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I'm joined with others for It's All About the Mouse YouTube series. Today we're taking inspiration from this photo of the Festival of the Arts, which is my favorite festival at Epcot. I'm going to be using this 5-pack of 10 photos. It's a pretty awesome sketch collection, and you can find it over at Scrapbook Generations. I'm going to be using this Lime Twist collection, which is super old, and the collection's called Happy Go Lucky. I love this collection, and I pretty much only have scraps left, but it's one of those collections that I just refuse to get rid of because it's such a pretty collection. It definitely screams Figment to me, and Figment is the mascot for the Festival of Arts, so I knew I had to use it for this layout. The sketch itself calls for 3x5 photos stacked on 3x3 photos. I thought the sketch was perfect because there's 2 photos of myself painting, there's 2 photos of Eli painting, and then there's a photo that my mom took of both of us painting, and then a close-up of the paint by number wall. And then in the center, I have 3 photos of the exhibit itself. I used this purple polka dotted paper. It has like teal polka dots on it as kind of my base for this layout. And then of course, I'm gonna bring in that stripe paper and a blue as well as a green, and then a floral paper that has all of the colors. Festival of the Arts is one of my favorite festivals at Epcot, and there's just so much fun things to do at the festival. One of the best exhibits is the chalk art. Like every day they have people just drawing on the sidewalk, and I think that's so cool to watch them bring these beautiful paintings to life just with chalk. Figment is the mascot for this particular festival, which is probably another reason why I love it, because I just love Figment. I love his ride. I love everything about him. I know his ride isn't like one of those thrill seeker rides, but I find it hilarious. All the fun things that you can do in that particular ride, and it goes through like the 5 senses. It's just a really cute ride, and I tend to ride it every single time I go to Epcot. The sketch does call for a 3x3 photo over on the far right hand side, but I couldn't cut that photo down to a square. Even though I made it a little bit smaller, I was going to lose too much of the details between the 2 splatters if I cut it down to a 3x3, so I just left it at a 3x4. I did go ahead and ink up all of the edges with a light purple, and then I go ahead and put my adhesive directly down to the layout, and then add those 3 photos from the exhibit. Now this section here is where you can pick up paint and brush, and they will assign a number to you, and you go up to this wall, and there are a huge mural of all of these little tiny squares with numbers in them. And then whatever number you're assigned, which is coordinated with the paint, you will paint 5 squares in your assigned number. So over on the far right, you'll see that little paint splatter number. Like we went to that number, and then the paint cup that we were given, we painted the wall itself. And then you can see over on the right, I haven't put it on there yet, that is a little, it looks kind of like a bookmark. It's what the painting will look like once everybody is done. And they do 4 murals. Every week they create a new mural, and that's how many people go and paint all of this. And it's such an awesome experience. So the painting that we did was kind of like a Starry Night painting, and then it had the Spaceship Earth over on the far right hand side. Now for this particular collection, I do not have a whole lot of embellishments to go with it because I have used so much of the collection that I actually had to pull out my silhouette, and I cut these paint brushes. The sketch itself calls for like 6 or 8 hearts over on the far right hand side, and they were much smaller, but I wanted to really emphasize the painting, so I went ahead and found this paintbrush that I could cut out, and I just used some of the pattern paper to cut the different pieces. And then I put an outline on it so that I could put it on white cardstock and put it up on fun foam. And I just love the way that that looks over on the far right. It really does bring in the painting aspect of this particular layout. So as I'm putting those down, I do want to encourage you to go check out the links below to see all of the other people who are following along in this hop and how they took that inspiration piece and created a layout. That's what I love about these types of hops, is that with our inspiration piece, it could have gone in so many different ways. Maybe somebody followed along like I did and did photos from the Festival of the Arts. Maybe somebody took photos of just Figment. The Spaceship Earth is in there as well. So there's so many different things that they could use while using that inspiration. So for my title, it's going to be Festival of the Arts Paint by Number Mural, which is a super, super long title. What I decided to do was use these pink foam letters for the word art, and then Festival of the, I'm going to use flat stickers to add to the title as well. So the word festival, I'm actually going to put up on fun foam, and so it sticks up a little bit, but then the word of and the is going to be flat to the layout. I realized that I needed another larger embellishment over on the far left, so I went ahead and cut out another paintbrush. I did enlarge it quite a bit compared to the ones that are on the right, since that was going to be the only embellishment over on the left. Then I decided that I was just going to add a couple more pieces. I didn't want to add a whole lot to the clusters because this layout is super busy with all of the details in the photos itself, and I wanted the focus to really be on the photos. So I first thought I would use some stars in the embellishments, but I didn't like the way that they came out. So I went ahead and pulled out my heart punch and added hearts to the 3 cluster locations that were noted on the sketch. So over by my paintbrush, I added a navy blue as well as a green, and then a striped one. Up there at the top, I added a green one, and then over on the right, I added the floral, which I had in the 6x6. So I went ahead and used that since it was a smaller print size. And then I pulled out my enamel shapes, and I actually used some jewel tones in pink, purple, and blue for this particular section. I'm pulling out my Hero Arts sentiment die. I have a link listed below to pick this up. It is over at scrapbook.com. And I just cut out my journaling and added that. I also cut out the paint by number mural. I made the font a little bit bigger than the font on my journaling, and I added that section to my title at the top there. So because my title was such a long title, I really wanted something simple for that last part of the paint by number mural, and I feel like the sentiment die was perfect for that. So here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also check out the links below to see how everyone else interpreted that Festival of the Arts photo at the beginning of this video. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.